What's up, everyone? How is everyone today? I'm good. Let me turn this on. And here. Hello. How are you today? Who's excited for Black Widow? Can't wait to see Taskmaster. Yeah. I don't know if I should talk about it today because it's kind of spoiling it, but yeah. This, I guess, trailer, right? This spot right here, confirms one of the plot leaks that I covered a while ago. Regarding Taskmaster and who they actually are. So once more people start coming in, I'll see, I'll ask. Depends on what you guys say. Maybe I'll cover it. Did you like the last episode of Loki? Yeah, I liked it. But it was more like anime filler. Right? Didn't really move the plot forward. They started and ended in the same place. And, it didn't even give us any more details about Lady Loki. So that was kind of pointless. But hopefully in the next episode we'll learn more about her. See if I can find it here. Here. So apparently this is Lady Loki as a child. And so she has some history with the TVA, which she already talked about. There's also a possibility that we could see Richard E. Grant's character, who some people are saying is, some people are speculating could be one of the timekeepers, but Charles Murphy from Murphy's Multiverse said that it's most likely just going to be the original character that he was rumored to play, which is kind of like an older version of Loki, just classic Loki. So, did she used to work for them like Loki? No. So, I think the way that she talked about it was like she didn't have good a good relationship with her. So I assume that she was either they chased after her like our Loki, or something bad happened to her that she doesn't have good memories at that place. But we'll have to wait and see in next episode. What I'm most interested about is how are they going to get off the planet, right? Because the last episode, they got to the planet. They try to get off using the spaceship since they broke the temp pad. But the asteroid destroyed it, right? So how are they going to get off? Is Mobius going to show up and save them? Or are they going to figure it out some other way? What's up, Nate? How are you? You made it just in time today. The music this time is appreciated. Yeah, so I couldn't figure out how I did it the first time, because my settings all got reset. So I just downloaded the song and just looped it on OBS, which actually works way better. Let me know if it's too loud or anything. I can put it down. Yeah, so there's quite a lot to talk about today. You guys let me know whatever you want to start with, and we'll go from there. It's fine? Okay, that's good. Just gotta make sure. Oh. So what did you guys think of Loki episode 3, or the whole show so far? You guys like it? Abomination versus Wong. Clearly it's gonna be Wong. He can just portal the rest of the sorcerers, right? You know what's gonna suck? If the Abomination versus Wong scene is like the Hulk in the Hulkbuster scene in Infinity War, where it just doesn't appear in the movie. Any updates on Venom 2 or Shang-Chi? Well, we got the trailer for Shang-Chi, yesterday, the day before? Yeah, it was pretty good. Showed more of the 10 rings. Showed Abomination versus Wong. Which I'm gonna be making a video about why Abomination and Wong are actually in the movie, like how they all connect. As for Venom 2, we got the first trailer. Now we're just waiting for more. It comes out later in the year. I've been really disappointed with Loki so far. It's very underwhelming. Yeah, I think I don't know. I like the first 2 episodes, right? Of course, there were like flaws with it. The second episode was like, I don't want to say boring, but it was like exposition heavy, right? There was a lot of talking while they tried to figure out where Lady Loki was. But the third episode, I really liked the third episode, right? I like their whole connection, how they how Sophia and Tom Hiddleston, they're like good together. But yeah, I felt like anime filler, right? It's just like it didn't have any purpose. They started out on the planet, they ended on the planet, and then it was more like Loki talking and him explaining his backstory, which we already know, and we didn't get anything from Lady Loki. So, have you done any research on Avengers Campus? No, I wasn't able to. So what is Avengers Campus? Is it just like an amusement park? It's in Disney, California, right? Is it like, it doesn't have any rides or anything, right? Is it like a museum kind of? I'll wait till the last episode to judge the whole show, but I only liked episode 2 because it addressed problems I had with episode 1. Yeah, so, alright, so there's something that I really want to talk to you guys about, like, regarding Loki and all the time travel stuff, but, I'm going to make it a video for when I go on vacation, if they don't explain it by the end of the show. Because obviously, right, if they explain it by the end of the show, a month later, nobody's really going to be interested in it. But if not, then yeah, I think it'll be an interesting video for you guys. In Disneyland, it has a Spider-Man ride. It's a 3D immersive attraction. That's cool. Is that also the same place where they made like the Spider-Man animatronic where it does like backflips and stuff? It's a ride type thing. I haven't been, but it looks great. Yeah, from this bits that I've seen, it does look pretty cool. But if it's like a museum, that's cool. If it has actual rides, like that's even better. I agree, Loki's been slow. Yeah, the episodes are long, which is good, but it's not like as action heavy as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? WandaVision was like more comedic and it had the shorter episodes. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had more like action. This one's more like, you know, kind of talking, just explaining everything. Especially since it has to do with time travel and all that stuff. The Stuntatronic thing, yeah, it looks cool. I heard that they spent like 10 years trying to figure out how to make it do the flip. Which is cool because, you know, Disney's always like pioneering new things. Episode 3 dragged for me. No Owen Wilson hurt the overall quality. Yeah. All right. So did you guys see at the very end of the second episode, right, where Sylvie goes into the portal, then Loki like kind of looks back, and then he goes into the portal, and like Owen Wilson and the Minutemen are running, and they like slowed down right at the very end to let the portal close. Like if they would have sprinted a little bit longer, they could have made it in. But yeah, so like I said before, the next episode is gonna be what we should have gotten last episode, right? We're gonna get more of Sylvie's origin story, right? This is her as a little girl. I don't want to read too much because I don't want to spoil anything for the episode for you guys. But this is her as a child. She's gonna explain why she doesn't like the TVA. And also, you guys know I like to talk about Charles Murphy, and he said that Richard E. Grant's character will most likely just be classic Loki, so like an older version of Loki. I like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier the best. Loki's my second, and WandaVision third. Yeah, I could see that. Especially if you like action more than comedy. Maybe they kind of knew where it was going and didn't want to die. Imagine they just let them go in. They're like, well, they're dead. Is she also gonna explain why she's a she? Well, I don't know if this is exactly why, but I know in the comics when Loki died, he was I guess reborn as a woman, which is why there's the Lady Loki. But she's also talked about how it's not the same version of Lady Loki from the comics. So I don't know, maybe there's a completely different reason as to why she's a girl. I don't know, maybe in that universe, you know, Odin and Frigga had her a day early or a day late, and that changed the gender. I mean, Odin and Frigga didn't have it, right? It was the Frost Giants. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they had her a day early or late. All I hope is that we get Kang the Conqueror, right? Like, it's probably gonna be like Mephisto in WandaVision, and like any of the other characters, Wolverine, Omega Red, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But like this one makes the most sense out of the two shows so far, especially since we know that he's gonna appear in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like they haven't really even set him up, and we're already in episode 3, so if they're gonna do it, they need to do it soon. Sylvie's actually the real name of the Enchantress in the comics. Sylvie's the real name of the fake Enchantress in the comics. The real Enchantress, her name is Amora. The fake Enchantress is Sylvie Lushton, and she, like, tried to replicate the real Enchantress, right? So she's like a fake Enchantress. So far, my favorite show is Moon Knight. Haven't been too impressed with all the shows so far. Yeah, one of the shows that we've gotten nothing from. Don't curse us with no Kang Loki. Stop, don't say that I'm bad luck. Yeah, but it would really suck if we didn't get him. the middle timekeeper is clearly Kang. Yeah, it definitely could be like, you know, the Marvel Studios changes stuff all the time, from the comics, but like the timekeepers are like 3 separate beings. So if Kang is the middle one, then cool. If not, then, you know, in my opinion, it'd be better to have all 3 normal timekeepers and Kang. But if they, you know, replace Kang with the middle one, that's fine too. I don't really have a problem with that. But yeah, if you're talking about like this one from here, yes, this does look like Kang a lot. So, you know, they definitely could switch them out. So. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully the show, like, I don't know, gets more... It starts to make more sense, right? And tie up all the loose ends. I love how you take time and answer the watchers' questions. I appreciate you guys commenting, because if you guys didn't comment, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So, it's all thanks to you guys. I haven't read any comics with the timekeepers. Who are the 3 of them? Anyone outside of the timekeepers? Let's see. On the left is Xanth. The middle is, at least this middle, is Ast, and Vorth is on the right. I don't know anything else about them, though. But, alright, so I have a question for you guys, if you guys remember. Was Loki supposed to come out before or after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Like, before everything got delayed because of COVID. Was Loki supposed to come out before or after? Because in the show, right, in the first episode, they talked about the war, the multiversal war, right? And they're setting up secret wars. And they're setting up all the multiverse and all that stuff with the sacred timeline, but before there were multiple and they almost destroyed the whole universe. And so now, you know, WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, they're all gonna start opening up into the multiverse. So was their plan always to set it up before Doctor Strange? Still before? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yes, my favorite character, Vorth. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love him? I specifically remember that. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So Loki before Doctor Strange. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you have WandaVision starts to set up the multiverse with her getting the Darkhold, right? And then Spider-Man, Loki, like, sets it up more, right? With the introduction of explaining and diving deeper into the time travel aspect, but also in the first episode explaining that, you know, there was a multiversal war and the Timekeepers created the sacred timeline to prevent that from happening. And then Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which, as far as I'm aware, are supposed to take place at the same time, right? And then those, like, that officially sets up, like, the multiverse and all those characters. Absolute classic, that Vorth. Yeah, I mean, who cares about Xanth, right? It's all about Vorth. And, Ash, she's alright, but... yeah. I wonder how long we're gonna have to wait for Secret Wars, though. Right, because we're just now starting to dip our toes into the multiverse and time travel and all that stuff. I don't think that we'll get it in the next 5 years. Maybe 10, but... I feel like it's still too early, right? We don't have the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Humans. We don't have any of these characters that played vital roles in the comics. Also, Andrew and Toby could be variants in No Way Home. Yeah, I assume that's what they'll probably, that's what they'll probably be, right? From different, universes. Different timelines. Okay, so, I don't know if the MCU is gonna last 10 years. I mean, like, if you... Sure, the shows aren't the best, right? They have WandaVision. It was alright, but it wasn't... Especially the ending wasn't my favorite. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier had a lot of parts that could have been removed, you know, that... Or could have been done better to, you know, make them not as annoying to watch. And Loki so far, the only really big complaint that I've had is the filler episode. But if you compare it to like some of DC's shows, right? Like especially Batwoman, it's like the MCU shows are like amazing, right? They're the best thing ever. Anyways, so apparently, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Andrew Garfield's stuntman William Spencer were all seen in New York. Spider-Man No Way Home finished filming a while ago, and so this could definitely be for reshoots. But what are the chances that they were able to get all three of them back in New York for some reshoots, right? When they dropped the first trailer for Spider-Man Homecoming, they did it with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland on Jimmy Kimmel Live. When they dropped the first trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, they did it on Jimmy Kimmel Live with Tom Holland and a bunch of kids dressed up as Spider-Man. So, if they're going to drop the trailer again on Jimmy Kimmel Live, having Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all appear, right, seeing them all in New York, could mean that we're going to get the trailer pretty soon. Well, if you compare a turd to Batwoman, the turd looks great. Not the highest standard to hold them to. That's what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of things that you might not like about the shows, but compared to like DC, some of DC shows, it's like amazing. So like the DC shows are still doing good, right? So even if the Marvel shows get to that point where DC's are, which I hope they never do, like the MCU won't die out. Because how many DC movies have been like really, really good? Like not all of them are super good, right? You have like Joker, Aquaman was pretty good, but like not all of them are great. Like Wonder Woman 1984 sucked. I did not like that movie. It was like 2 hours of talking and barely any action. And also Mobius said that variants could have different histories and powers and looks, explaining how Tom, Toby, and Andrew look different and how Toby has organic webbing. Yeah. Yeah, and then they showed like all the different versions of Loki, and it had like the soccer player or whatever, and then it had like the big Hulk like one. Fair enough, those are good points. Exactly. So stop saying the MCU is gonna die, because if it dies, then I have no job. All right, so Marvel just uploaded this little TV spot here, and it confirms the plot leak that I've covered before. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, then I won't talk about it. But if you guys do, right, if you guys don't care, then I'll break it down then. And if you guys don't want it today, then I'm gonna cover it tomorrow, so you can always watch it in the video if you want. Yeah, hopefully. Go for it. Anybody have any objections? Go for it? Okay. All right, so, where is it? It's right here. So here we can see that the plot leak, right, says that Taskmaster is Natasha's friend. She got blown up, whatever. They rebuilt her as Taskmaster, right? And so it says that in the comics, Taskmaster is Tony Masters, right? He's the one that he can see characters' moves and replicate them perfectly. But in the MCU's case, right, so far this Taskmaster is able to replicate moves because of technology, not because of skills, right? Not because of some skill that they have. So it basically confirms that this isn't the real Taskmaster, right? That it's Natasha's friend that died. They rebuilt her, and she's like the first Taskmaster 1, I guess, right? And then that's the plot leak that says that Thunderbolt Ross will get the blueprints for Taskmaster, and obviously that will lead into the Thunderbolts and him creating a new one, which could be Tony Masters, right? Imagine if we have like it's different from the comics, but imagine if Tony Masters was like a war veteran. He got blown up, and then Thunderbolt Ross rebuilt him and created a new Taskmaster, and now he's like the actual like real comic accurate version, but instead of it being like he has like I forget exactly what it's called, but where he can see something and like replicate it, it's because of the technology that he has, and so that eventually goes on to for the Thunderbolts. And I looked through this little video and I couldn't find it, but people were saying that on the HUD, like on his helmet, her helmet, this is a girl, that it said like task retrieve the vials, which would be the red super soldier serum that we saw. And so that could also lead into how General Thunderbolt Ross becomes the Red Hulk, right? Because we know that the Widows have their version of the super soldier serum or whatever. Yeah. They better not cuck Taskmaster like that though. Like, let him have his fighting photography memory thing. Yeah, like, in my opinion, that would be better, right? Because it's like, but if they already like started it this way, and they're most likely gonna write Ross or whoever, whether it's the other lady, De La Fontaine or whatever her name was from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If they get the blueprints, that means that they'll probably rebuild someone or give someone some enhancements. So maybe, right? All right, so maybe it's this. Maybe he has it, right? Tony Masters has his photographic memory thing, but the technological like things that they give him make it like better. Maybe he can memorize it faster, or he can replicate it better. But yeah, I agree that like having a natural ability would be better. Val, yeah, that's her name. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Yeah, I think like an enhancement is like the best of both worlds, right? Which movie are you guys most excited for? Coming out this year? Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, or Spider-Man? I think I'm most excited for Shang-Chi. I like the like Mortal Kombat stuff. The fighting, all the tournament stuff that he's got going on, and then seeing Abomination in it was pretty cool. I gotta go. I'll be back though. All right, that's fine. Thanks for coming. I'll reply to your comments later, and if not, I'll see you next week. What's your theory? Spider-Man and Shang-Chi? Which one though? You gotta pick one. If you could only pick one, which one? Spider-Man is definitely gonna be cool, especially right if we get Toby and Andrew, and the Sinister Six, Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina, all of the other villains that are said to rumored to return. Spider-Man. I actually think I'm more excited for Shang-Chi, but Spider-Man's definitely the second, and then the Eternals third, and then I'm excited for Black Widow, but it's probably the fourth because we already pretty much know everything that's gonna happen. Right, especially now that it's all but confirmed that the plot leak is real. So yeah, I'd say Shang-Chi. What else? Let's see. We can talk about the new Avengers campus. Well, he left, so that's unfortunate. But it's fine. My theory is that Thunderbolt Ross will appear in Shang-Chi. You think so? I mean, it'd definitely be cool, and maybe that's how they explain why Abomination is there. Maybe he has some plan for the 10 rings, right? Maybe he's like, I'm gonna use the 10 rings for something, and I'm gonna let the Abomination fight in this tournament for the 10 rings, because I know he can win. Thunderbolt Ross will appear in Shang-Chi and enhance some characters with Super Soldier Serum. Oh, interesting. Do you think that's why Abomination looks different? Maybe he gave him some of that, some of the Black Widow's serum, right? So now he has Hulk's DNA, Captain America's DNA, and then the Black Widow's Super Soldier Serum. Maybe that's why he kind of like evolves into his new version. That's interesting. Okay. What do you think will be the best about Shang-Chi? Definitely the fights, right? From the trailer we saw, there's gonna be a lot of action. Whether it's Death Dealer or Razor Fist or it's his dad, right? He'll probably be training with his mom and sister. And then I don't think we're gonna see a tournament anymore, right? Like when the movie was first filming and stuff, there were a lot of rumors that there was gonna be like a Mortal Kombat style tournament, and we saw something like that, right? The Abomination versus Wong fight. That could be the tournament that they were talking about. But I feel like that's gonna be a very small part of the movie, right? It's gonna be more like the third act, the end is gonna be more him against his dad, right? We saw that in the trailer where they were fighting for the rings, so I think that's gonna be the, you know, it's gonna lead up to that. But I'm definitely excited to see which characters are gonna appear, like which other characters. I never expected Abomination or Wong to appear, so you know, it's anybody's guess for who we could see. We could see mutants. We could see other previous characters that are, you know, locked up in the raft or something. Yeah, and with it being like a new movie, right? It's diving into this new world. There's a lot of stuff that we could see. I want to see how it sets up Fin Fang Foom, if at all, right? Because the main place where the final fight takes place in the Valley of the Sleeping Dragon, which is obviously where Fin Fang Foom was, you know, locked up or whatever. I think the tournament is gonna kind of just show Shang's powers. Yeah, and that's gonna be cool too. Like, what are his powers in this movie, compared to the comics? Does he have the same? Does he have different? Does he have all the same moves? Does he not have any moves? Is he just like a good martial artist? So yeah. I think the tournament is kind of just to show Shang's powers, just to throw him back into the world of fighting and using his power again. Yeah, it could be like a warm-up tournament. Yeah, that makes sense. I wonder if he's actually gonna fight the Abomination. Right, because it showed that at the end of the trailer, it showed that he was next. Abomination clearly beat Wong. So I wonder if that'll be an actual fight. Or, like, how much of Emil Blonsky will we see? Is it just, you know, that small scene? Will he fight Shang-Chi? Will he play a bigger role in the movie? Maybe the Mandarin's the one that got him out of prison, wherever he was locked up. And now he's working for him. Right, because I assume that, just like the Mandarin sent Death Dealer and Razor Fist to get Shang-Chi and bring him back home, I assume that he doesn't want to give up the rings, right? So he'll probably have his own team of fighters fighting in the tournament, so that when one of them wins, he still, you know, gets the rings back. She said you'll do great, so yeah, he'll fight Abomination for sure. Yeah. And hopefully we see like a big fight, right? Hopefully it's not like just a cut and he gets like beat up or something. Or, you know, it's just like, you'll do fine. And he's like, yeah, I won, you know, on to the next fight. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I think Wong was fighting Abomination. Yeah, it was clearly the Abomination. Yeah, if you look at it, it's pretty clear that it's Abomination. See if I can find a bigger picture. Yeah, he's got the same backbone sticking out. He's got the more comic accurate frills. When I first saw it, I thought it was Fin Fang Foom, and I was like, there's no way that he's gonna appear. And then I rewinded, I was like, nah, never mind, that's the Abomination. So it's definitely cool. Yeah, I want Shang-Chi to super chi punch Abomination and win. That would be awesome, like Iron Fist. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And I wonder like if they'll, you know, leave any Easter eggs towards Iron Fist, right? Because in the comics, Iron Fist and Shang-Chi fought, and Black Panther said that Shang-Chi was better. So I wonder if they'll have any connections, or if not, maybe they'll set something up, right? Especially now that Marvel got all the rights back to the Netflix characters. They could definitely set them up, right? Maybe say like Rand Industries or something, or, you know, talk back. Maybe the Mandarin says like, you remember the time you fought Danny Rand or something? Or yeah, so there's definitely a lot of ways that they could tie the two characters together. That'd be pretty cool. Although I don't think they're gonna set too much else up outside of the Shang-Chi, you know, kind of universe. I assume the biggest thing that we'll see in the post-credit scene, if anything at all, is Fin Fang Foom. Right, it'll probably set her up for like the second movie. Although imagine a Master of Kung Fu versus the Iron Fist movie. That would be sick. A flashback to when he was a boy. Yeah, especially like we've seen him like training, right, getting hit with the sticks by his masters or whatever. So yeah, if they met and fought, that'd be pretty cool. But was Daniel Rand always like a good fighter since he was a kid? Or didn't he go like on a journey, like became like a monk or whatever, and that's where he learned martial arts and became the Iron Fist? I watched like most of Iron Fist. I don't think I finished the second season, but I watched most of it. But I don't remember how he became the Iron Fist. If he was always a good martial artist since he was young, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense in a flashback. Or maybe, right? Maybe the Mandarin trained them both. Imagine we just see a little kid, and then in a couple movies they like kind of retcon it. They're like, oh yeah, that was Danny Rand. Just like how in Iron Man 2 or 3, there was the little kid dressed up as he had like the Iron Man mask, and he was like trying to blast the robot, and then Iron Man came in and saved him. And like years later, they retconned it to saying, yeah, that was actually Peter Parker. That was Tom Holland. And especially since Daredevil, right, is rumored to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home, and recently I talked about how he's rumored to appear in Hawkeye, and that makes sense because of his connection to Echo, and there were some other things that I forgot, but his connection to Echo, he's appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home, and obviously in She-Hulk. Having Daniel Rand introduced into the MCU, even through a small cameo or just like referencing his name, would eventually set up the Defenders again down the line, right? His parents died when he was 12, and a plane crashed with them, and he lived and then was raised by monks and became a chi-using warrior. That's how he got the Iron Fist. Okay, yeah. So what if the plane crashed and the Mandarin was the one that found him and saved him, and he like started training him? That could definitely make sense, and that'd be pretty cool. And then we could get like another Shang-Chi, another Iron Fist show, or Shang-Chi 2 could be the Master of Kung Fu versus the Iron Fist, and then at the end they team up to fight Fin Fang Foom. But maybe the monks could be characters that are working for the Ten Rings with the Mandarin. Exactly, yeah, because we've seen the Ten Rings and like the Mandarin's henchmen and goons set up throughout the MCU, right? They appeared in Iron Man. All the way in Iron Man, he was captured by the Ten Rings, right? In the first movie in the MCU, he was captured by the Ten Rings. Then again in Iron Man 3, we had the fake Mandarin with Trevor Slattery. And then there was like the little one-shot, All Hail the King, where he was in jail and he got abducted by someone that worked for the Mandarin because he was impersonating the Mandarin, right? And then in Ant-Man, there was someone who had a tattoo of the Ten Rings on his neck, clearly working for the Mandarin. So it's obvious that he has a lot of people around the world working for him. So one of them, maybe he has different areas in the world where he trains people, and that's where Danny Rand crash lands, and then they train him and they raise him, whatever. Or maybe, what if the Iron Fist starts out as a bad guy, right? What if he crashes, the Mandarin raises him, trains him, and he's not able to leave like Shang-Chi, right? Shang-Chi left, and he started a new life, right? So what if what if Iron Fist always stayed and he got like kind of brainwashed by the Mandarin? There's definitely a lot of ways that he could be set up, or other characters could be set up for sequels or other shows or stuff. Somebody asked something about Deadpool, but I couldn't see. They deleted the message. So, or what if Iron Fist is Death Dealer, but like brainwashed, and at the end turns good? I don't know who Death Dealer in the comics is, so if it's like a new character, that's definitely possible. If it's an existing character, I don't think that'd be a good idea. Unless he's like, you know, the real Death Dealer was like his master, and he's just like, since he was brainwashed or controlled or whatever, once he died or he got too old, that he became Death Dealer. And if you do it like that, that's a good idea. And that's why they have a rivalry. Yeah, that can make sense. And at the end, he turns good. Yeah, I feel like, now that I'm thinking about it, right, we're talking about it, I think having Shang-Chi 2 be Shang-Chi versus Iron Fist, right, kind of like a Batman versus Superman, and at the end they team up against what's his name? You know, the bad guy they fought. If Iron Fist and Shang-Chi fight at the beginning, then they team up at the end to take on someone like Fin Fang Foom or a different villain. When Shang-Chi was like 15 in the trailer flashbacks. Yeah, when they were training. But that would also mean that Iron Fist is a lot older than him, right? Because it seemed like Doomsday, yeah, that was his name. It seems like Death Dealer was older than him, so either they're gonna make if they go that route, Iron Fist will be older than him, or that would be like the original Death Dealer. Maybe he trained them both, and then when Shang-Chi left, you know, stuff happened, and then Iron Fist became the new Death Dealer. And that could definitely be cool, right? And then the Mandarin sends the Death Dealer after him, And he's like, oh, I remember you were blah 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 blah, blah. And then eventually he like unmasks him. He's like, oh my god, it's you. It's Iron Fist. Oh. What do you think the chances are of the Fantastic Four appearing in Ant-Man? Ant-Man 3. We know we're getting the Fantastic Four movie, obviously. But what if they appeared in Ant-Man Quantumania as a way to like set them up, and then they, you know, went off and did their own thing in their own movie? We have City with the S. Quantum Realm City. Right? There was this city in Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. This big old city right here. There's some people that are saying that the TVA could be located right here. This city that we see in the Quantum Realm could be the Time Variance Authority. And that could be why the Infinity Stones don't work. But, in the comics, the Time Variance Authority exists in the null time zone, and that would explain why the Infinity Stones don't work. But this, you know, maybe they combine the two, and the Quantum Realm has a section that is the null time zone. So that could either be the Time Variance Authority, or it could be Kang the Conqueror's base of operations, and maybe he has the Fantastic Four hidden there. Yeah, Chronopolis, that's what it's called. Maybe he has, maybe that's Chronopolis, and that's where Kang lives. Maybe he has the Fantastic Four locked up. Then maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, they go back into the Quantum Realm, they explore that city, they free them, and then sets it up for their movie. I think either one could work, right? If it's the Time Variance Authority, that could work. I feel like Chronopolis just makes more sense. Especially since it would set up the Fantastic Four. But, I don't know. That's what the place is called in the comics, is the home of Kang. Yeah, Chronopolis. You know, maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe originally it's the Time Variance Authority, and then once Loki and Sylvie, you know, take them down, they show everyone who the Timekeepers really are. They show everyone what's going on. Maybe Kang sees the opportunity, he takes over, and that's when he builds up Chronopolis. He actually traps the Fantastic Four there in the comics. Yeah, you see? So, and if, you know, the TVA gets taken down, maybe he rebuilds it. There's no one there anymore to stop him. The Timekeepers don't exist anymore, right? Assuming that that's where, you know, Loki goes. He builds it back up as Chronopolis, and then, you know, he has his he finds the Fantastic Four. He traps them there. Yeah. I just want to see the end of Loki, right? I like Loki so far. Episode 3 wasn't my favorite, obviously, because of things I've said before. But I have a couple videos that I want to make that are talking about, you know, stuff in Loki. But I want to get to the end, because there's obviously a possibility that everything that I want to talk about gets explained before the show ends. If it gets explained, then you know, there's no real reason for me to make those videos. But if not, then I think there's going to be some pretty cool videos for me to make. And so I'm excited. I want the episodes to come faster so that we can see. I think the Timekeepers are a hoax. Yeah, I agree. I think either the Timekeepers don't exist in the MCU, they never existed, and they're made up, or they existed a long time ago and they're already dead, or they're not playing as big of a role anymore. And I have a feeling that Renslayer is controlling things and manipulating things to fit her agenda. right? In the MCU, the timekeepers could be these, you know, what they say, right? They're unwinding time. But maybe Renslayer sending the Minutemen to different times to, you know, do stuff for her, to prevent things from happening. Or she created this, like, TVA, this image of the timekeepers who no longer exist, and she's just using their image to give herself power and to be able to control what's going on. And I feel like that's something that Loki and Sylvie are gonna tear it straight down. They're gonna reveal everything. Right, in the last episode they explained that everyone working at the TVA are variants, even though they don't know it, which means that they got their memories wiped, or they've been working there for so long they just don't even remember anymore. So they're gonna reveal everything. The other analyst that Renslayer works with is Kang. Ooh, that's a very good idea as well. Yeah, what was in the second episode, right? Mobius was complaining about, I didn't find this, I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. So it could definitely be Kang. Imagine, because in the comics, they have a very close relationship, right? Isn't she like, don't they date, or she likes him or something? And if that's true, that would make sense. He's her, her second analyst working behind the scenes or whatever, and doing stuff for her. Yeah, doing stuff secretly. That she talks about in episode 2, they're watching over the timeline secretly. Yeah. And maybe in Loki, Renslayer is like the one that's leading everything, but then once Loki and Sylvie tear everything down, right, and they reveal what's really going on, maybe that's when Kang gets his power. Maybe the TVA gets knocked down, he rebuilds Chronopolis there. I think Mobius is an Owen Wilson variant. Just from real life, just Mobius is Owen Wilson. He just made some bad decisions, got caught up by the TVA. They date and they like get married. Yeah, exactly. So I know that like most of the people that work on like MCU shows and movies and stuff, they're not like super knowledgeable of the comics and stuff. Just look at WandaVision and like the first episode of Loki, right? There were so many references to Mephisto. They were like, oh yeah, no, I didn't mean to do that. That was just a coincidence, right? The Fantastic Four connections in WandaVision, they said that they were all coincidences. But I feel like this is like the most obvious one, right? This has like Renslayer and Kang. Kang is gonna appear in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like there has to be at least some connection, right? They date and get married, and she dies, and he loses it. Is that why he originally becomes a villain? Or was he already a villain from the start? Maybe all the movie references they make in the MCU aren't contradictory at all. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson doesn't play Mace Windu in the MCU. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson doesn't... He plays Mace Windu in Star Wars, man. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Maybe they're all, like, real-life variants of their real-life versions, in these movies. Yeah. That was a very unnecessary explanation. But, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Although, if Mobius is just a variant of Owen Wilson, then why is he not going to say WoW? Like, I need WoW in the show. I need it. He was already a villain? Yeah, that's what I thought. I wonder if, right, in the second episode, they went to 2050, right? That's when they went to the Roxcart, like, grocery store or whatever. And then on the last episode, they went to Lamentus 1 in, like, 2070 something, right? So, now that they're going to introduce Kang, whether it's in Loki, or whether it's in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I wonder if they're going to, like, go that far into the future, right? Because he's from, like, the year 3000, right? And then he goes back in time to, like, ancient Egypt with Apocalypse and all them, and that's when the Fantastic Four chase after him. So it'd be really cool to see, like way in the future. That's the most disappointing part of the show for sure. No WoW. Yeah. Episode 3 being filler, nah. Whether they explain more about time travel and, you know, why they went after Loki and not the Avengers or anything, none of that matters. It's just no WoW makes this an F tier. You know, I made a video already, ranking all the MCU shows, and movies. And I put Loki in S because I really thought that it was gonna be good. But the more we watch of it, like after episode 3, right now it's an A. Episode 4, 5, 6 might bump it back up to S, but it would have been funny to be like, Owen Wilson never says wow, so I put in an F. They could easily work in a cameo by someone from our universe in Multiverse of Madness and have them be reading a comic with a character from Marvel on it, or even in Loki. Yeah, and like, you mean like that's how they like explain the future or something? Or you mean a cameo from Kang? Because either way, that could work. And imagine if there were Marvel comics in the Marvel universe. They could have a WandaVision comic. Yeah. Like, it'd be so weird to have comics of what's going on in your universe, right? Or imagine if, like, the comics were, like, from the future. You're like, oh, yeah, you know, and this is gonna happen then. That'd be pretty weird. I just wonder when they're gonna introduce Watu the Watcher, right? Because in what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2, there was the I think it was the first one where there was the cameo with Stan Lee, and he was like, you know, set up as the Watcher or whatever. Oh, you mean referencing us? You mean like Earth, like our universe? Oh, that'd be interesting. But what are they gonna talk about? Like Biden or something? COVID? That'd be pretty funny though. I forgot what I was saying. Oh no. Quick, somebody tell me, what was I talking about? Watu the Watcher. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Guardians 1, they showed Stan Lee, and they kind of set him up as the Watcher, right? What If, the animated show, has already been confirmed to be canon to the MCU, so everything that happens there technically happens in the MCU, right? And we know that Watu the Watcher is the one that's going to be like narrating what's going to happen. So I wonder when they're going to introduce like the real Watu, and are they going to use the same actor from What If? Because I don't have a problem with it, right? But the actor that plays Watu in What If is black. And so I wonder, are they going to use the same actor? Are they going to change Watu the Watcher from the comics? Or are they going to recast and use a different Watcher for the MCU? Right? Because there can obviously be multiple of them. We saw some in Guardians of the Galaxy with Stan Lee. So maybe they use Watu for What If, and they use a different one for the MCU, or they use the same actor for the MCU. But what I want to know the most is, where is he gonna appear? Is he gonna appear in Doctor Strange, or is he gonna appear in a, Fantastic Four, a different movie in the future, or is he only gonna be a What If character? Because that could work too. Maybe he's just like the narrator for the What If series. Because we know we're going to get a second season. Season 1 is 10 episodes. Season 2, we're going to get a season 2. Hopefully, there will be multiple seasons after that. So he could be, like, the narrator for that. But I also wonder, like, what role will he play in the MCU if he gets introduced? Right? Because if I have to choose between Watu narrating stuff or Luis, I'm picking Luis any day of the week. He's the narrator of the MCU? Yeah. If I was in charge, I would make Luis the narrator, but I just want to know where will we actually see him? And like there haven't been too many narrations in the MCU, right? We don't get like an Endgame where like, and you see Thanos is farming on his new his new planet, living a quiet and peaceful life. Right? We don't see anything like that. So maybe Luis is Watu. That would be amazing. But yeah. And I know that in the comics, I don't remember exactly which one, but I know that like Watu dies at one point. And I know that a lot of times, Watu, instead of being a Watcher, he's interfered, right? So maybe, Secret Wars or something down the line, we actually see like Watu get involved. Luis is Watu with a human body, watching over Earth with a closer eye. That would be amazing. And me and Nathan have talked about this before, but not having Luis narrate the Marvel Legends episodes is like the biggest waste ever. And there was, like, a long time ago, I made a video talking about a show that was supposed to come to Disney Plus, called The Fury Files. And I think it eventually did come, not when it was supposed to, like, months later. But it was just, like, they just, like, brought over previous episodes that had been done before, like, animated episodes. So it was nothing new. But imagine having, like a Fury Files, but it would be, like, the Luis Files. And he just, like, very quickly explains, like, everything that's happened in the MCU. That'd be great. Like, I don't know if you saw the short little video that they made with Tom Hiddleston, where he tried to explain everything everything about Loki in the MCU so far in 1 minute, and it ended up taking him like a minute and a half. But he was like talking like super fast, and I feel like if Luis tried to explain everything in the MCU super fast, that would be amazing. That'd be super funny. And there's a lot of stuff that, you know, should happen. Right now we're getting what, like 4, 5, 6 Disney Plus shows a year and like 4 movies. Next year we're getting like 5+ movies. The Luis Files is the greatest name ever. Yeah, it just makes sense, right? It just makes sense. But I wonder, like 5, 10 years from now, is the MCU gonna slow down? Are we gonna go back to 3 movies a year or less? You know, maybe 3 movies and 3 shows. Or are we gonna stay where we are now with like 5 and 5 of each? Or is it gonna keep going like higher and higher, as Marvel Studios grows and is able to hire more people, get more directors, you know, more people in charge? Will it get to the point where we're getting a Marvel movie every month and a Disney Plus show in between? Or would that be way too much for some people? It's like with just everything that Marvel's made, 80 years of comics, right? It's possible that they could make as much content as humanly possible, right? Five and 5 is too much. You think so? This year alone, we're getting 4 movies, plus Venom Let There Be Carnage, which is 5, and we're getting 6 shows, right? WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki. We're getting What If, which, you know, whether you want to count that or not, and then we're getting Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. So that's 5 or 6 shows, and 4 movies plus Venom. Next year, we're getting Morbius. We're getting Doctor Strange, Thor 4, Black Panther, Captain Marvel 2. And then, you know, like 4 or 5 more shows. You think anything over 4 is too much? Yeah, and I could definitely see people agreeing with that. Like, I could see people like saying, you know, maybe 1 Marvel movie a quarter is fine. But then there's people like me who I would love to see a Marvel movie and show every month. This year is an exception because of COVID. Last year and honestly next year. Yeah, I guess. But like it doesn't seem like it's gonna slow down at all, right? Like, look, if we go right here, just in 2022, we have Morbius, Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever, the Marvels. We have the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and then we have, for the shows, we have Moon Knight, She-Hulk, you know, most likely, the Echo Show, Ironheart, Armor, where we like. Maybe What If Season 2. There's a lot that they could do. And then the same for 2023 with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Fantastic Four, Blade, The Mutants. So I get this, but I feel like if they do too many, it'll be hard to keep up with. Yeah, and I agree. They'll have to find the balance, right? Maybe 4 is the perfect number. Maybe 5. Maybe 6. It just depends. I think it's going to be some trial and error. And also it depends, like, if they're going to continue to make everything in the MCU tie into each other, right? You have to watch Loki to understand Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, because Kang the Conqueror first appears in Loki. At some point, right, if you do too much, there's going to be people that are going to pick and choose, right? Yeah, Loki sounds interesting, but I haven't liked the first 2 Ant-Man movies. Maybe I'll skip that one. And, you know, they'll just miss a big chunk. They'll miss the introduction of the Fantastic Four, right? So, I don't know. The good thing is that, right, 90 days after the movies come out in theaters, they go onto Disney Plus. So, you know, maybe someone doesn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania or the Marvels. They decide not to watch it in theaters. Too much Marvel content's coming out. They say, no, I'm not gonna watch that. They can, if they have a Disney Plus subscription, they can always go back and rewatch it when it comes out later, right? And they're not really missing anything. They'll have to deal with the spoilers for the first month or two, but after that, they can watch it for free whenever they have time, if they want to. So yeah, if it was me, give me some, you know, give me a show and movie every month. For most people, it'd probably be like, you know, 4 movies and 4 shows is already more than enough. It also depends, I think, on what DC is doing, right? We're gonna see if Marvel's doing 4 movies and 4 shows, and DC starts doing 5 movies and 5 shows, and they see that it's working, you know, Marvel's immediately gonna start move up to 5 and 5. And then if 5 and 5 stops working and DC moves down or Marvel moves down, you know, the other one is gonna do the same thing. That's easier than theater visits every month. Yeah, every month would definitely be a lot, right? For casual fans and most people, that would be a lot. You have work, you have school. But yeah, the good thing is you can always watch it on Disney Plus if you're not able to make it. Right, like I already bought my ticket for Black Widow. I'm going on July 8th at 5 p.m. That's the earliest time for where I live, so that's when I'm gonna go. I'm gonna watch it. But you know, if you gotten upset because of COVID, all the movies being delayed, and you know, at this point you're not interested in Black Widow anymore. She died in Endgame. You know, I don't want to watch it anymore. That's fine. You can watch it 90 days from now for free on Disney Plus. Right? Maybe you don't have your COVID vaccine yet. You're not feeling comfortable enough to go out. You can always buy it on Disney Plus, or you can wait if you don't want to spend the money. So there's definitely lots of options. That's good that, you know, Marvel gives you both. I'm only 12, so this is all a lot to keep up with already. Yeah, that is definitely a lot. You know, if you have school, you have other things that are more important, sports. You know, maybe you're not able to go to the movie theaters when the movie comes out. So yeah, it definitely depends. And hey, how are you? Thanks for coming. It definitely depends, right, on how Marvel continues to do things, how people continue to, you know, react to the content. If they're liking the movies, they're liking the shows, and they want more, then Marvel's definitely gonna give them more. If it gets to the point where it's too much, you know, Marvel's gonna slow down. I have my own channel, but I can barely keep up with this stuff on my own channel. It's just hard. Yeah. I know how you feel with being in college. I'm lucky that I don't have to work. Right, because I live with my parents, so I don't have to work. So, but just college and doing YouTube is a lot. Right, especially also only having 36 subs is tough. Yeah, and you know, not getting views, not getting subs, it can be demotivating. I totally understand. But yeah, I mean, now that it's the summer, it hopefully will be a little bit easier, right? You don't have school anymore. If you want some advice, the best advice that I could give you is make evergreen content, right? Don't do what I do. Doing what I do is probably the worst way to grow on YouTube. Right? I make news videos. So, right, if I were to make a video tomorrow saying that Karen Gillan is getting ready to start filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3, in a week, nobody cares anymore, right? Because there's already new news. There's more information, right? We could get the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer tomorrow, and nobody will care about this anymore. So, right, if I make a video today, maximum a week, it'll stop getting views, right? Because nobody cares about news that from a long time ago. So, what I mean by evergreen content is make videos that people can watch whenever, whether it's today, tomorrow, in a month, in a year, in 10 years, right? That's the best advice that I could give you. And if I wasn't making so many videos already, right? Make one video a day, even though they're not that long. One video, one short, and post and replying to your guys' comments. I would like to make more videos, more long form content that people can enjoy whenever. I'm good. Just finished watching the first episode of Mysterious Benedict Society. Is that it? That's a Disney Plus show, right? I haven't watched it, but I've gotten like notifications for it. Is it good? I do breakdowns on my channel. It's called Right Brit. Yeah, so that's definitely good. Breakdowns, you mean like trailers and movies and stuff? That's fine. That's definitely good content. You know, if you want to do like reviews or stuff, that's good content too. But you can make practically any video on YouTube and, you know, it'll do good. You just have to make good content and be patient. And make sure that if you're doing YouTube, it's because you love it, not because you want to make money or be famous, right? Yes, doing YouTube full-time would be amazing, but like right now, there's only 6 people watching the stream. And being able to talk with the few of you that are here is what I love, right? Replying to your comments, making videos that I know you guys are going to appreciate. That's what I like. Yeah, it's pretty good. It has these of unfortunate events vibe. Oh, that's cool. I know my brother was super into a series of unfortunate events. He really liked that show. I never got into it, but from what he said, it was pretty good. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Thanks for coming. So yeah, see if there's anything else interesting that we can talk about. Can you guys believe that we're already in episode 3 of Loki? It blows my mind that we're already halfway through. Like, I don't know if it's that I like Loki more than the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know what it is, right? I really like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I really like Loki. But it feels like this show is going by so much faster than the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Maybe it has to do with not being in school, too. But I seriously can't believe that we already watched episode 3, and it's Saturday, right? We have, like, what, 3-4 days until it comes out? Till episode 4 comes out? And then we're a third of the way done? I mean 2/3 of the way done. Yeah. I've been having a horrible day. I just found out my brother died of cancer. He died in my mother's arms on April 28th as they were going to the hospital. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that, Daniel. Do you watch The Bad Batch? Yeah, I watched The Bad Batch, today. I watched yesterday's episode today. It was good. I like how they brought back Cad Bane. He's definitely one of my favorite characters from the Clone Wars. Yeah, that type of media is cool. Like with a series of unfortunate events, it's made for kids, but it doesn't dumb stuff down. They deal with heavy subjects, and it has a dark vibe, but never too much. Yeah, that's cool. And, you know, when kids watch it, they definitely, that stuff goes over their heads, but they find it enjoyable. And for everyone else, they can understand the more complex aspects of the show. So yeah, that's definitely cool. What do you guys think of Black Panther? Yeah, Daniel, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. I honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I'm really sorry for your loss. Cancer sucks, man, but you'll get through it. You guys will be okay. And just know now that he's in a better place. And while it hurts you guys, at least it doesn't hurt him, right? He's in a better place now. So, which villain are you guys most excited to see return in Spider-Man No Way Home? Out of, the ones that have been rumored to return. There's Jamie Foxx's Electro, who we know is 100% returning. Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, we also know is returning. Then there's Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Paul Giamatti's Rhino, and two others from both the Raimi and Tasmverse. The Lizard is another one that's returning, and one more. Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman. Out of those 6, which ones are you guys most excited to see? I'd probably say Dr. Octopus. I have to go, but thanks so much for the stream and the support, and I really appreciate it. My dad said I have to go to bed, but that's okay. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it, you guys. On a lighter topic, did you see the pics of Michael Keaton on the set of Flashpoint? He was in a car. No. Like I've said before, I don't really keep up with the DC stuff that much, but when the movies come out, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely gonna watch The Flash and all those movies. The most recent thing I heard was I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's been confirmed or not, but I heard that they were gonna recast Cyborg. Bye, Britt. Have a good night. Doc Ock. I want to see Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. Yeah, I agree. I think he's probably most people's he's probably the one that most people are excited to see. Yeah, I haven't really kept up with all the drama going on with Cyborg and all that DC stuff, but I heard that he was getting recast. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, so I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's getting recast. But probably the Lizard. He's always interesting because usually he's not a bad guy. He just wants to heal his arm. Yeah, I agree. And we saw that, especially in if you played Spider-Man Miles Morales, how you saw how Harry was in the tank, right, with the Venom symbiote, and Norman was like, get him out of the tank. And then Dr. Connors was like, we shouldn't get him out. We don't know if it's safe or not. And then he was like, get him out now. So yeah, especially in like the Spider-Man video game universe, he was more like a doctor, a shy guy. But I also really liked him in the Amazing Spider-Man movie. Although those movies weren't my favorite, I kind of liked his like portrayal of the character. Although I wish, right, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I wish we would just get more comic accurate versions of characters. Right, like especially with Paul Giamatti returning. With Paul Giamatti returning as the Rhino, or rumored to be returning as the Rhino in Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, this is cool and all, right? A giant Rhino mech is cool, but I would much rather see a comic accurate, like, big, strong CGI guy in a Rhino suit. Right, and having, like, a more comic accurate Lizard with, like, the big snout and, like, And that, in my opinion, that's better. And since the villains are rumored to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home from the exact moment where they died in their universes, I assume that if he appears in Spider-Man No Way Home, it'll be something like this, right? Maybe a smaller, slightly different version. But yeah, I don't think just because he goes from the TASM universe to the MCU, that he'll, you know, switch and be more comic accurate. Like, this is all I want. Although, the Spider-Man video game Rhino is pretty cool too. So, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how they do it. This isn't my favorite version. Although we barely saw any of it. So, you know, he might show up in Spider-Man No Way Home and be like the coolest thing ever. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I never played the Spider-Man video games. Yeah, if you're able to, you definitely should. At least give them a try, because they're definitely very, very good games. Like, if you compare them to Marvel's Avengers game, not even close. The Spider-Man games are so much better. And if I remember correctly, you talked about not having a PS4 or PS5 last stream. So, or that you were saving up, right? I think you were saving up for a Switch. If you want, like, more games, I'd say the Switch, obviously. If you just want the Spider-Man games, then I'd say a PS4. Or save it for a PS5, but, you know, when are they ever going to come back in stock? So, guys, thanks for coming, but I'm going to end the stream in about 10 minutes. So, if you have any more questions or anything, let me know now. My theory is the multiverse aspect is not a huge part of it. Like, we still get Tobey and Andrew Spider-Man, but the villains are the MCU versions of their Raimi and TASM counterparts. That's definitely possible. You know, that's definitely possible. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the movie. I haven't seen it yet. But from what we've heard, I think that Spider-Man No Way Home takes place at the same time that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness takes place. Which is why Doctor Strange doesn't help Spider-Man round up the villains, right? He already had them round up from plot leaks and stuff, rumors that we've heard. Spider-Man lets them go because he's Spider-Man. And then Doctor Strange says, you know, you have to go fix your mess. And that's when Tobey and Andrew show up. They help him. Because he's obviously dealing with, you know, the bigger threat in his movie. And so, you know, having 6 new villains appear randomly in the MCU definitely could happen. There could be a great explanation for it. But I feel like, you know, the multiverse just makes more sense, especially since it's just, you know, so connected to WandaVision and Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that's such a big aspect of the MCU moving forward. But it could happen either way, you know. The only Spider-Man video games I played are the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. I never played those games, so... But I bet you they were definitely good when they came out. They were definitely great. Especially since, you know, Raimi's Spider-Man movies were good. Especially Spider-Man 2. Like, Spider-Man 1 and 2 were great. I really like Spider-Man 3, although I know that a lot of people didn't like it. My only question is, did they let you dance in Spider-Man 3? Because if they didn't let you dance, then there's no point in playing the game. Also, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, I remember playing that. Yeah, I think I've seen a bit of that game. Or I've heard a little bit about it. Probably while I was doing some research for Spider-Man 2. Or just watching a YouTube video. All right, well, good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Um, I'll stick. Sorry, I had my mic muted. Um, all right, I'll start from the beginning. I'll stick around for another 4 minutes to answer any last comments or questions that you guys might have. Once again, thanks everyone for coming, and I'll stream again next Saturday at the same time, 8 p.m. Central. Um, Daniel, you said also Spider-Man Web of Shadows. I remember playing that, and Ultimate Spider-Man that came out in 2003. I wish they would make the movie tie-in games for Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That would be awesome. Imagine we had like a um I say give it to us in the Insomniac universe. Because that universe was those Spider-Man games are great. Right? Imagine like having like a DLC or something that ties into No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah. I was pretty disappointed during E3 when we didn't get a new trailer for Spider-Man 2. But given how like recently they Miles Morales came out, it kind of makes sense, right? But I'm very excited for the second one. Especially if we see Harry as Venom or we just get to fight Venom. That'd be pretty cool. And then we need a Venom suit in the game, a black suit. Multiverse games. Yeah, and you know, it was like a missed opportunity that they as bad as Marvel's Avengers game is, although it is kind of getting better with the DLC and that's good. Um, it's a missed opportunity that they didn't connect the games, right? But yeah, maybe in the future, maybe Spider-Man 2, maybe a DLC or something. Maybe the Spider-Man DLC is Insomniac Spider-Man. Or it references it or something.